What is up, YouTube? This is Kai and Cannon from Arguably Georgia Sports, and today we are going to be recapping Week 13, Georgia Tech versus Georgia, the game that we've been talking about all year, and we went to this game, and what a game it was.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you. That was they Georgia Tech only ran one play the whole time, triple option, every time,
Almost every
even if they threw the ball,
No,
they ran it.
not really, because we just play action. We never faked any We never not faked any handoffs.
Yeah, you never just handed it straight to them. You always had some sort of misdirection, and it was painful to watch. I like even when Georgia Tech were tied in the second quarter, I felt like Georgia was losing, just because it was so annoying that every time they ran a play, it was a 20-yard run to the outside, and our outside defense wasn't cutting it.
Well, I thought our defense, except for the third quarter, did a great job, especially holding and two big interceptions that sealed the game. So, Sony Michelle had a heck of a game with an average of 8.9, we'll just say 9 yards per carry. That's pretty dang
That's
good.
his best in his career, because Chubb just wasn't cutting it. He only got 88 yards, and Riley Ridley for one. Oh, he ran. Oh, nice. He had one pass. It was a backwards pass. It wasn't actually a throw, and he rushed for 5 yards.
Now, we're not going to go over everybody who rushed for Tech because it's
There are like 10 people, but altogether they rushed for 226
heck, even
yards.
Trey Clock rushed for a yard. I mean, like, he's like our fourth string A-back.
Their best rushers were
Clinton Lynch?
and Isaiah Willis.
Well,
Isaiah Willis.
No, not Isaiah Willis. He only had one carry for 10 yards.
For 10 yards, though, I mean.
Yeah, Marcus Marshall had his normal game.
Clinton Lynch, 59 yards, 14.8 kick.
Yeah.
Can't believe that. I mean,
And a
they
touchdown.
just
He was the guy who had that long
they kept
touchdown.
on. All they did was they reversed it and ran to the outside, and it worked. But it was not fun to watch. It just wasn't.
Justin Thomas had was 6 for 10, 164 yards. He had 7 rushes for 10 yards. Not a great day doing that. 16.4 average compared to Jacob Eason's 5.
Jacob Eason passed for 27, and he completed 14, 139 yards passing. I think Georgia should have passed it more. You know why?
Why?
Because their running game would not cut it when they passed it to Chubb, and they only passed it to Michelle 19 times. And they only threw the ball 27 times. Normally, Georgia throws it a lot more than that. And Jacob Eason is one of the best freshman quarterbacks in the country. If you have that, you have to take advantage of it. Jim Chaney.
No, let's look at how this game started. So Georgia had the ball. Tech got a quick stop, got the ball back. Well, no, not a quick stop. Georgia drove down really quickly, and then we stopped you about, like, inside the 30. And Blankenship missed the field goal. And then we get the ball back, and in 2 plays, we score. And then it's just back and forth for the rest of the first half. And then in the third quarter, you should have scored 2 more touchdowns than you did. It should have been 35. You should have had 35, but you had to settle for 2 field goals. And then late game, it looked like even through the fourth quarter that you were gonna win. And there was that one drive where we got the ball, and you had that one stop where we were down at like our own 3. And then with a third down, then we had a super clutch pass for 25 yards. And then 2 more deep bombs, and we score. And then you get the ball back, and you throw an interception. You drive
At the
back down
50.
and score. And then you get the ball back, and
With 35 seconds left.
30, and throw
35.
30.
35 seconds left. We just squander it. We try one, and we...
And it gets
there was
picked
one
off.
to... what's his name? Forget his name. Anyway, it was like 20 or 30 yards down,
think
and
it was
he just
Godwin,
didn't catch
wasn't
it. No, it wasn't Godwin. He sometimes fills in for the kick return or the punt return. It was,
Yes, but I'm just so happy. I mean, what a win.
yeah, I have to admit, Georgia Tech outplayed themselves. I mean, and Georgia just didn't get it done. They just didn't.
Now, the story of the year has been Georgia losing at home games they shouldn't lose.
Let's
Look at Tennessee. They definitely shouldn't have lost that game. I mean,
Vanderbilt.
They should have lost that game at first, but I mean, the last play, Vanderbilt and now Tech. Just 3-3 at home.
Not to mention, we also probably shouldn't have lost.
Meanwhile, Tech was 6-2 at home.
I don't think any of our losses were justified except for Florida and Ole Miss.
Well, I mean, you were expected. Well, I don't know about that because some of them were justified. What do you mean justified? You were outplayed by Vanderbilt. You were outplayed by Vanderbilt.
We shouldn't have lost to Tech. We shouldn't have lost to Vanderbilt. We shouldn't have lost to Tennessee.
Vanderbilt's defense was stellar in that game.
Yeah.
Especially Zach Cunningham, same guy who blocked that field goal, who came up with the game-winning stop in that game. And I think the story also, if you guys find a defense that's good enough to stop you at all,
and then we actually monopolize Jacob Eason, and Chubb returns. He has to do well because Chubb hasn't been doing well this year.
If you find a decent defense, you're not going to be able to win. That's been the story of the year. It really has. I mean, if you look at most of Georgia's losses except for this one, Georgia Tech's defense played decent. I mean, also in this game, I mean, Georgia was moving the ball great until about the 20-yard line of Tech. Then they were just shut down most of the time.
Because we tried to run it too much, we never threw it. That was the problem. That's ridiculous to me because, I mean, like, we tried to run it every time, and we maybe picked up 2 yards every time with Chubb, and it just doesn't work. We gave it to Chubb more than Michelle, and Michelle was getting 10 yards every carry, 9 or 10 yards every carry. Why not just give it to him? I mean, if you actually look at who's doing better, give it to the person who's doing better. Or throw the ball.
I mean, Sony Michelle was doing better.
We have some very good receivers, and we have a great quarterback.
No, I don't understand why did you hand the ball off to Nick Chubb more than you did to Sony Michelle.
That's what I was just saying. I mean,
makes no sense.
Give it to the guy who's doing better.
Meanwhile, Tech did their usual and spread it around just about everywhere.
I think that
Tech had how many people rushed the ball in that game?
About 8.
Eight. 8 people compared to 3. But that's Tech's offense. But on the other side, Georgia had a lot more. Well, not much more. I mean,
2 more receivers.
People with catches. I mean,
like these are like we have
Isaiah McKenzie had a horrible game.
Yeah,
he got a touchdown catch. That was it.
Yeah, he just gets a ton of drops, and that's his problem. He either makes an amazing play, highlight reel, or he makes a terrible mistake. And he had 2 receptions for 4 yards, and
he had that 1 touchdown catch. And
he had a touchdown,
and then that was 6 yards, and then he got dropped for -2 on the next play.
And so we have some very good tight ends. I mean, we just need to run LSU's offense. That's what they do. They just throw it to the tight ends. And, I mean, we have Nada and Blazevich. And we can also throw it to our receivers. Godwin, Ridley, Wims, not Michelle, but McKenzie. I mean, we have so many great receivers. Why don't we ever throw it to them? That's my problem, because if you look at it, we should be a passing team with all of our stats and our players, and we definitely were not. And we were not able to be a rushing team like we have been for the last few years against Tech.
Now let's look at next year. Both teams are losing a lot of experience. A lot of players.
Like Georgia might lose.
Georgia's gonna lose
Chubb.
half their offensive line.
Hope we don't lose Chubb. Well, that could actually be very good for them because Georgia's offensive line right now is very bad.
Yeah, it's gonna get
we
worse.
have Cablano.
It's gonna get worse.
Catalina.
With freshmen.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, they have so many
Inexperienced
unforced errors. I feel like we can do better with freshmen and just start new. Hopefully.
And Tech losing their quarterback in Justin Thomas. He's had a great career, but
And
next season, Tech is gonna. Oh my goodness, what's that? Oh, I just forgot my own team's quarterback's name.
Justin Thomas.
No, I'm talking about next year.
Oh.
Dang it! How did I just forget that?
I
Wow.
hate it when that happens.
Okay. Okay, you guys know who I'm talking about. It's the guy with diabetes. He led us to the win over Virginia Tech in his only start, and that was a big win. So I don't know. Should I be excited? I mean,
you
haven't seen much of him.
You should be hopeful
I
because you don't know what's gonna happen. So hope for the best, and if it doesn't turn out well, you can always run the ball because you don't pass it. You just need to know how to be fake.
Justin Thomas.
You know how to. All you need to know
goodness,
is
be
know
quiet.
how to fake, and then you can go to Georgia Tech and hand the ball off for your quarterback career.
Justin Thomas. Do you realize that Justin Thomas rushes more than he passes? Rushing is. You need to have a quarterback that fits the offense. He needs to be. Or he needs to rush because.
Then why not just put a running back in as the quarterback? You could do it if
you need to pass occasionally.
Occasionally, but a running back's not always terrible.
Well, it's almost like a whole separate position.
Yeah, I guess.
That's it.
It's there.
What other teams besides other teams that run the triple option have an A back and a B back, and a slot back, and a quarterback,
and maybe hand it off to their tight end at some point.
No, I don't think we've ever done that. But
pitch it back to the wide receiver, throw it backwards again.
Except we see Tech doesn't actually have a tight end. I guess you could say Brad.
Yeah, I guess
you could say Brad Stewart is kind of a tight end, but he's more of a punt returner who sometimes plays tight end ish. But
Georgia Tech had 2 fumbles, one of them lost, and Georgia only had 1, and it was recovered.
But Tech had their defense.
Was it 2 interceptions? 1 interception?
Patrick Gamble had a great game, and so did the 2 Austin brothers, Lawrence and Lance Austin, playing almost equally.
Rod Rook Kungong.
Roderick Chunkong.
Oh, another
awesome.
receiver that we have, Quincy Manger.
Senior Roderick Chunkong. Quincy Manger.
Manger, his name is Mulger, but he asked for us to pronounce it differently, so Manger.
What about Chucks Amaichi?
Chuck Amaichi. There's some strange names in here.
Well, so yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up for us. So the Ramblin' Wreck win it this year. And
Eat the hedges! What the heck, people?
And have won the last 2 in Athens.
Eat the hedges.
They've actually won 3 of the last 5 in Athens.
Hedges.
So yeah, this is it. Be quiet, criminals. Hey, you take shovels and tear up our field, and as always, but not really as always, goodbye.
Oh yeah. One more thing.
No,
please.
But now, always, as always.
As always, now? Always?
Always.
Always.
But now, almost as always, yeah. That's it.
Yep. Please view our other video that we made today, and we will post immediately, called Week 13 College Football Review. Thank you for watching. If you like. If you want to subscribe, please do. And let's just do it over again. And as always, but not really as always, but now almost always,